But now we're going to go into a focus on the team. And I fast forward here while Dan was talking. We're in the second round. You are now on, I think it's this assault side. We're going to look at what happened to get you guys killed so fast. And it was a pretty big crucial error here. We'll watch it first just so everybody can see what happened. I'm on free roam, so I'm just watching above. And they did a 3 rush on Spotlight. You only had one guy there, so obviously there's a big difference. But he's in a spot where he's screwed up right there on the jump up. So he didn't see the guy that ran right through. And these 3 guys just went right over. And they basically just took control of the middle, and you guys didn't have a chance. So let's back it up a little bit more. Go on a first person. We'll watch it rated and give him a little look. Danny, you can go ahead.
One thing to note, though, before we continue with this is we're not saying that he's a bad player or this is a really bad mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. We just want to point out that every little second counts, and this is 1 second the accelerated just happened to mess up. Anybody could have done it. It was a simple jump that he missed, and it just goes to show that this 1 second that he missed ended up costing you guys an entire round in like 15 seconds. Other than that, the spot is extremely crucial, and you guys, I really think you guys need to work on your setups a little bit more so that he's not left alone, because this spotlight rush is a very viable strategy now, because they spawn closer to spotlight than you guys are, than the offensive team does, and they will beat you up there if they're rushing it as hard as they want. This team obviously was super aggressive, so you guys need to adjust properly, and you guys adjusted by staying in your base and allowing them to walk all over you guys.
Alright, so the next part that we'll go on to is probably going to be the major theme for the rest of this, is that this team was super aggressive, but you'll notice something about your team, that you guys are never able to stop their aggression because you never use your stuns or your grenades to stop it. Like accelerated here, he probably should have thrown stuns over there just to check it. And that kind of goes on the theme of what we were talking about earlier, that in competitive play, stuns and grenades are different than they are in pubs. They're not tools to get you kills. They're tools to check spots, cut off movement routes, especially in Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy, you should really be getting gun kills. If you get a grenade kill, awesome. The guy was an idiot for dying to your grenade, but whatever. But you should be using your stuns to check spots. They're not used as a tool to get the kill. And we're going to see this a lot in the rest of your games, because a lot of your guys die with all their grenades still on them. If you're doing that to yourself, you're really handicapping yourself, and they kind of just start running all over you guys because there's no way you're going to stop it. They lose a couple rounds just from over-aggression, but they know that they can be over-aggressive because you guys weren't putting any pressure on them to slow them down.
Another big thing is you guys lost a psychological warfare. Search and Destroy isn't just necessarily about who has the best breakouts and all that. I mean, if you die to one, death that you think that you should have came out on top, that really can take a toll on you if you don't keep your mental game up, if you don't focus correctly. And I know this sounds so vague because it's Call of Duty on the Xbox. It's not like it's not like chess where you need to keep mental focus the entire time. But really, Search and Destroy, if you're getting outrushed by somebody, even in this game, it goes to show that you guys lost your balance, you guys lost your cool, you guys couldn't keep your confidence. You guys just let them walk right over you. You guys stayed in the base. You guys didn't follow your plan that you had in the beginning, and that really took a toll on the rest of the game. You can't let them do that.
Alright, so let's kick off this next round. This is another one. Yeah, you guys forgot the bomb. You see how that kind of hesitates your breakout completely there. Let's go back a second. Start the round off again. Your breakout, you have all 4 of you going off, and the only one that continues this breakout is rated. Everybody else takes a starter step back because they realize nobody picked up the bomb. So that slows down your breakout by at least, 3 or 4 seconds?
Yep.
And that's going to allow them to get the pre-nades, and you're going to be running into them perfectly. Like King here, he gets stunned, and he's killed right away because they're able to rush right through. But
I mean, you guys, it's 110, and they're already in your spawn, and you guys just got lucky because you guys missed the bomb. Otherwise, you guys would have been dead because none of you guys tossed a stun to slow them down.
So we're back on SilentShot here, and you see it's the same recurring theme. There's 2 stuns. You have to get rid of them.
I mean, it's not to say that you need to waste them, and it's not to say that every time that you play a search round or a search game, you should always you should always empty your bank of nades. But you definitely shouldn't every single round of search in this game, or any game for that matter, always have a couple nades stacked up in your inventory.
Yep, absolutely. Remember, they're tools. They're just, if you put it back to this chess thing, like Dan was saying earlier, it's not quite like chess, but it's like playing with only pawns. You have so many other tools available to you. You have your mind, you have your gun, the movements, drop shot, jump shot. You have your chess, and your stun grenade, and your lethal grenade, whatever that is, whether it be a semtex or a frag. And you have to use everything available to you to outplay your opponent, because you will get to a point once you improve and your team is on a great level. You know, you guys are winning most of your games. You're not losing to people you shouldn't lose to. And if you don't use those tools, then they're going to outplay you simply because they use more chances. Or they have a better probability to win because they have more chances.
Yeah, they use their
more tools.
Tactical advantage to overcome you guys. I mean, equal skill will always, trade games, but if they're using everything that is given to them while you guys are handicapping yourselves by not using all of your tools, you're obviously going to lose. I mean, it's pretty clear cut, but it just seems to be a recurring theme, and that's something you guys should work on.
Here's another one that we see rated. He's running around with the 2 stuns. He hasn't really checked the spot yet. He should be checking that bomb site. And this looks like another time management here. He does it pretty well, alright. He's only checking one area though. Make sure when you're in search, especially in search, you have to multitask with your eyes, and especially with your play just in general. You have to be able to look at both doors and be able to react quick enough if they come through either one. Some people have to jump up their sensitivity to do it. Normally a 3 or 4 is just fine for that. A lot of people can do it on 2. A lot of pro players do it on 2. But you have to be able to watch multiple spots and be able to pick up on movement and get there really quick. Because he was only really checking one area, and the guy came from the other area. So it was like a 50-50, but it could have been 100, and he could have done it perfectly. But that's just a little thing.
Yeah, once you get better, you'll realize that it's not as difficult as you think to not directly look at the area that your reticle is pointed at. I mean, when I play, I zoom in on one area, and just out of the corner of my eye, look for movement while I'm looking at a different area.
Yeah.
Just because it's a high traffic area that I'm staring at with my reticle, so I can just tap the trigger if I need to get some hit markers. Because every bullet counts. I know this isn't Halo, where every shot counts. Everybody dies in like a quarter of a second in this game, but still, every bullet counts. I mean, they're assists for a reason.
Overall, though, I think it's just these small little things that are crucial, but they're small things that are pretty much easily fixed. It's the basic fundamentals. You can work on that over time, and if you play pubs mainly, you can work on it in pubs just fine. It'll make you feel like you're playing slower than everybody else, but you play better than anybody else. Just smarter. And the little things like using your stuns and your grenades. You can get to the point at the beginning where you're just using them every round and you're not sure why you're using them, but it tends to work out. And then you get to the point where it's like, alright, I'm using this and I stun this spot, and it normally gets a guy there and slows them down and allows me to get to another position to outflank them. It's just little things I will group up. I think you need to get a little bit more concise on the breakout and the strategies. It seemed like if they were all planned breakouts, it's great that you have so many strategies, but you need to get the ones down to be absolutely consistent. So watching like multiple areas, if you rush, then either you need to watch your own back, or you need to have a teammate watching your rush spot so you don't get run up right behind, kind of like they were. They had 3 guys rush, and then 2 came through blood, and the other guy was waiting. The other guy got knifed, raided up top, and he was waiting to see if anyone was coming around the corner, and the other guy ran through middle and got both those kills.
Destroy the objectives. We got the bomb.
I think also especially in Search and Destroy, it's probably the hardest thing to practice because it's kind of boring. It's exciting to play in because you got your heart pumping, your adrenaline going, but it's kind of boring to practice. And I think the easiest way that we've ever found to practice it is if you have your 4 players, then you do 2v2, and you just work on your breakouts. You work on your breakouts and say, all right, if I'm going here, then the other team needs to do the opposite breakout. So you're doing like controlled situation. You're cutting your map in half, saying, all right, you guys need to break out towards A, and we're going to break out towards A. And you're both going to see the time that it takes to get the other person there. And you're going to start to learn how to get your stuns there in the correct spots, which spots to stun. And that basically makes a tic-tac-toe for you. It's like, all right, I know he's not there, there, and there. So he's either here or here. And it's a lot easier for you to watch 2 spots than it is the 5. Dan, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, just to keep going with what he's saying, he's really just talking about, like, you want to be able to time how fast you're getting to a spot with, like, in correspondence with the other team running to the same exact area on the opposite side of the map. If you toss a stun in the area that you would expect them to be at and you don't get a hit marker, that means you can cross that off your list. There's only so many spots the other team can run to. If you can toss 2 stuns and either get 2 hit markers and know 2 people are there, or don't get anything, then you know they're not there. You can look in different directions, because you just really, stuns and pre-nades are all about minimizing map space for the other team. You want to stretch as far as you can, cover as much area and ground right off your breakout as possible. So you kind of want your players in a tight-knit group, but looking at all areas of the map. Because in most of your breakouts in this defensive area of this game, you guys were only covering up like basic areas, but you guys didn't really have each other's back. They could have rushed. There's a couple of different routes. I mean, you guys, I don't know how much you guys worked on this, because it did show that you guys put some time into it, but I think you guys need to go over it just a tad bit more to do like I don't know how to describe, like the nitty-gritty, the boring stuff, the little routes that random people run to. I mean, you don't want to lose a round because you got lazy and didn't cover an area. I mean, that is the worst feeling in the world, when you lose a round because somebody rushed a route that only pubs do. Like, I don't know, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, is just not checking all the spots on the map when I know I should have. So when you're doing your rushing, or when you're doing your breakouts, always trying to cover as much area as possible. Think about where anybody could be that you might miss, where a blind spot would be. Toss a stun to that blind spot so you don't have to check it. You don't need to be scared if somebody's running there. I mean, if you got that stun check there, if you get the stun there, then great, readjust. But if you get nothing, then you know that they're going to be in your line of sight. And that is a big, big, big advantage.
All right, well then, we are at the end of our video here. SilentShot, we want to say thank you for submitting the video. You and your team, we wish you guys the best of luck. Like we said, those couple changes, those few changes, and a little practice, and you guys will be a solid team. We want to everybody's watching, some of the stuff we said was harsh, but what we said we believe is absolutely true. This is exactly how we go over our own gameplay. In fact, we're probably a little bit more harsh in our own gameplay because we expect more out of ourselves, because we've been going over them so much. We see the mistakes over and over again. It's frustrating, but don't take it harshly. We're trying to help everybody improve. If you want to have your own team's gameplay submitted so we can go over how you guys doing and see if we can help you in any way possible. And it's not saying that we're better players, that we're amazing players at all. That's not what we're doing. It's just a second pair of eyes on, well, it's actually 2 extra pair of eyes on your gameplay. And maybe we pick up something that you missed. It's like, hey, I never realized that before. But I hope everybody enjoyed watching. Hope everybody enjoyed Danny. He's a good talker. He makes up a lot of noise.
Yep, I like to hear myself talk.
Yes, that's very true. But I guess we'll see you guys next time. If you have any comments, negative or positive about the series, I hope everybody's going to enjoy it. But if you aren't, or if you will, let us know. We do appreciate all feedback. And we'll see you guys later. Bye. Danny, you can say bye.
Yep, thanks for having me, Dovic. See you guys later.
See ya.